back to my channel. As you can see, we have somebody here with us. Who are you?
My name is Judy.
Yes, we have Judy here, a fan fave from the vlogs and things, so she's a familiar face. But yeah, she's joining me today. We're gonna answer some hot topics, some questions. But before we get into that, I want to thank everybody who's joined me for this year of YouTube. We had our anniversary, our meaning me and y'all, I guess.
Happy anniversary
to us. We made it a year. That's a big deal. And I want to thank everybody because we also reached 200 subscribers and now we're over 200 subscribers. So thank you everybody who subscribed. And if you haven't yet, might as well subscribe now. Like, comment, share, hit the bell notification, do all the things because we going up. We going up. In this video, we're going to be answering some questions and some hot topics about Caribbean medical schools. We asked on both of our Instagrams for people to give us questions or things that they've heard about medical schools, Caribbean medical schools, that they want cleared up. So they want to know if it's a fact or if it's a fiction, okay? And we're going to answer that today. All right, so we're going to hop right into it. And I'm going to ask you first, Judy.
Okay.
Fact or fiction? When you go to a Caribbean medical school, you can't practice in the U.S.
Fiction. You definitely can practice in the U.S. In fact, you cannot practice in the Caribbean. So all of the licenses we get are only for the U.S., no other country.
Yes. And that's if the school is accredited, right?
Yes, to practice in all of the states.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to go to a Caribbean school that actually has accreditation, and that's a couple of them. So you have to be sure to do your research and make sure, because AUC is accredited.
And they can lose their accreditation as well.
That part.
Yeah.
So
do your research.
Yeah, do your research. You want a school with a good reputation too. All right, well, that's settled. If you go to a Caribbean medical school, the right one, you can practice in the US. The next question is, it's easier to get into a Caribbean medical school than a US medical school. Is that a fact or a fiction? Or a factition?
Yeah, factition. I feel like Caribbean schools actually take a more holistic approach compared to like US schools, but they're still just as competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. You can't get into a Caribbean medical school with like a 2 point something.
Yeah.
And like a really bad MCAT, and then you also didn't do stuff in college. Like you gotta be, you know, show your application has to show that you're an actual like serious minded person. So there's that. But I agree. I do think they do take a lot more things into consideration than US schools.
Yeah.
So it is a good option for a lot of people.
And I think that if you are someone who has like a non-traditional journey, you're more likely to get into like a Caribbean school will probably be a better option for you because you probably took like more time off, or there's like gaps in your application that you can explain and probably have a better chance getting into Caribbean.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay. So the next question. Medical schools on islands are distracting. Is that a fact or a fiction?
I think it's fiction.
I agree.
Yeah.
A huge fiction.
I think it's you who's distracting yourself.
I really think it's a huge misconception of like people, and I get it because like if you're like in the US and like in Jersey, like I'm from Jersey, nobody's like has the beach at their fingertips. Well, New Jersey has beaches, but they're not no like island beaches, you know? Nobody has these kind of things like island stuff at their fingertips. So it's like, oh, you must be living it up every single day. No, nobody has time for that. Exactly. Like we rarely get to even, how many times do we go to beach?
This year? Like literally like 3 times the whole year.
Yeah,
no. And it's usually during breaks. Yeah.
So distractions, I wouldn't say there's more distractions than in the US. Honestly, I personally would say there's less.
Yeah.
Because there's only but so much.
Yeah. It's a on a tiny island.
Yeah.
40 square miles.
Yeah. Like you can get to the other side in less than an hour, 40 minutes even. And
like just family and friends and all that. Like it's expensive to fly back home, so it's like you have to stay and just be in your books.
Yeah. And if you bored, you better get on to Netflix or something. something.
Yeah.
Like it's not. I don't think it's not as cracked up and glamorous as I think people think it is.
Yeah.
And low-key, I feel like sometimes we make it look glamorous.
Yeah.
I've heard
people
that.
think it's like a vacation. We're
Yeah.
constantly on vacation, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And I've heard people tell me like, "Oh, you make medical school look so like
That
nice because you're on that." Hey,
Yeah.
I'm not showing you while I'm studying.
Exactly. You'd be bored.
Like I'll show you the one time in 3 months that I go to the beach.
Exactly. No.
And all that other stuff. But yeah, it's really not cracked up. It's fun and stuff when we do.
It's all right. It's all
It's
right.
fun.
It can be fun. You can find fun anywhere.
Yeah, I think that's really what it is. You just gotta
Yeah.
you have to find your fun. Sometimes create
Yes, exactly.
your fun.
Yeah.
Like me.
The same way you create your distractions.
So that's facts. That's actually huge facts. Because I really just could decide, I'm not gonna study today. I'm gonna go jet skiing, and I can if I want. But I need to be serious, people.
Yeah.
So the next one. Caribbean schools are cheaper than U.S. schools.
Fiction.
Wait.
Fiction.
Oh.
Yeah. Fiction.
There's nothing to it. Fiction. I think there are some.
Yeah.
There are some that are cheaper, but
You get what you pay for.
and there's isn't it only 4 or maybe it's 3 now?
What?
Caribbean schools that are accredited.
Yeah. And yeah, there's 4 that are accredited. Yeah.
But since
Others have some accreditation, but
but
not
it's
all
like
of
real
it.
restrictions and stuff like that.
And those ones are cheaper, but
Yeah, so
You
if you
might
want to
not
go
be
to a school that you can
practicing.
actually use the degree
Yeah.
for it's not cheaper.
traveling back and forth between
Yeah.
home, moving to a new country.
Currencies are not the
It's
same.
just overall, you're not saving money.
Like there's inflation everywhere right now, right? Inflation.
Yeah.
But even when I got here, before inflation was really inflating, it was expensive here.
Mhm. It's a
Simple,
touristy spot.
bro. When me and my mom first got here, a small, not even the big Costco like detergent, small laundry detergent. Guess how much we found it for?
Probably $20-$30.
It wasn't that much, but it was $18. $20. It was $18, bro, for a little thing.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Sick.
Even what? I was gonna come here and buy an air fryer, $200.
Bro, huh?
It was $200. That's Costco.
Bro.
Or not Costco. What's it called?
Cost you less?
Cost you less, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
But
not
I
it.
got it on Amazon for $60.
Okay, so from my little research and stuff, the average tuition for an in-state, like public medical school in the States is $38,000. Not bad. Private medical schools, $60,000. More, but also not as bad for another Caribbean school that's accredited and one of like the top 3 or 4. It's around $27,000 per semester.
And there's 3 a year.
Yeah, there's 3 semesters. That's another thing. We do year-round school, so we don't have a summer. There's a summer semester. So
winter.
how much is around? Let's round up to 30. That's $90,000 a year, and that's for tuition, not the fees and all the other stuff they just be adding on top of whatever. So the point is, it's not cheaper, unfortunately, and God will just help us. God will help us make it through. Next question. Caribbean medical schools have a lower match rate. That's a fact.
Okay.
It is a fact.
Okay.
Unfortunately, as folks know, there's still a whole stigma. Would we call it a stigma or just
it is a
discrimination against people who go to, or not even the people necessarily, I think just the idea of a Caribbean school. And I think it's really just any school outside of the U.S., to be honest. The U.S. is just how the U.S. is, and what we have is the best. So when they coming from here, then y'all second class citizens type of situations. But it's not impossible to match. Lots of people match even in competitive programs coming from a Caribbean school. I think it's just one of those things of you just have to do more and do as much as you can. I think some demographics of people are used to having to do more to get to where you gotta go. So Caribbean school is just another one of those situations of like, you just gotta do what you gotta do. I also heard, like, this isn't a question, but I've heard people say, like, maybe not just Caribbean schools, but medical schools in general, like, it's within the class, it's like super competitive, you know, it's cutthroat, that kind of a situation. I don't really do you find that here?
No, I feel like everyone is like wants each other to win.
Yeah,
we know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's something you get. I don't know about Caribbean school, but that's something you get here. Like, it's not that cutthroat kind of a situation. And at least even with like our friend group, we understand we're all smart people, but we understand we're coming from a Caribbean school, and we understand that we all want to match the first time around. Hello. The first time around. Yeah. And become doctors and all that. So we just got to do more and do more and push ourselves. And, you know, the crying at night will end at some time. It'll end eventually. But for this time period, you gotta do the most. And you got to push yourself.
Another thing about that, so for people who are like U.S. grads, like not from medical school, but they're originating from the U.S., they also usually have an easier time matching, which is sad compared to like international grads, aside like before medical school. Yeah. So they discriminate for a lot of reasons, unfortunately.
Yeah. But there are a lot of programs that are IMG friendly, international medical graduates friendly, meaning that they take a lot of Caribbean graduates, and even for their residency, not residency, what's it called? Rotations, they open it up to IMGs as well. And so when you're trying to match, or when you're researching like where you want to go to school, residency, right? Look for that IMG rate, because, you know, apply to wherever your heart desires. However, if you see that they have a 0.5% IMG population, just, you know, have your hopes where they should be, you know? But some places are 60% and 90% and stuff like that. So you know they're going to look at you as more than just a Caribbean graduate, as an actual, you know, competitive candidate. So there's going to be a place for you and us, wherever you want to go. There's going to be a place, but you just might have to weed out some other places that are just not looking for you.
Yes.
You know?
And it also will help if you are able to like do your clinical rotations there, just to get your face known and get to know the faculty, so that they can give you a good letter of rec when the time comes. That will also help your chances if that's the hospital you want to end up at. 5 sure.
Get it?
More than 5. I got it. Yeah. It wasn't a good one.
So the next question, second to last question. A lot of people fail out of Caribbean medical schools. Is that a fact or fiction?
Compared to U.S.?
Compared to the U.S.
Yes, that is a fact. As we said earlier, I feel like Caribbean schools are a little more forgiving in accepting people, and some people, even though they might have like a good application, some folks just aren't ready, or they just don't know what medical school entails and decide it's not for them. Yeah. A little too late in the journey. But
I think that's a big thing. And I also like the fact that you're now living on an island is a big thing as well. Yeah. There's a lot of adjusting that comes. Obviously, when you move away from like your home area, there's adjusting for anybody. But there's something different about moving to another country and an island at that. There's a lot of like, you know, these are first world problems, but just a lot of inconveniences, water going out, Wi-Fi going out. Yeah, and then also, and not being able to go home, like you said, as often and as like easily as you want to. People's mental health suffer a lot from that, because you literally feel just like stuck and like trapped, and you still have to perform and do all these things. So I think that that I don't want to say weeds out a lot of people, but discourages a lot of people from continuing. Yeah, unfortunately.
And I also think with how selective and like competitive medical schools are, like they really or for U.S. medical schools, they really like do a lot more to make sure that most people who go into the program stay. Whereas here, they just.
Do you think so? How do they do that?
Like resources. Like think about we had to buy all our own stethoscopes and all that kind of stuff.
Do other schools give them that?
Some schools do, yeah. I don't know about all, obviously, but yeah, they just get. Yeah. It's not the.
But also, I feel like they have the ability to get those resources more easily as well too. Because even literally simple getting things here is a task.
Yeah.
Like shipping wise is a task. So I think money.
I don't think it's like in a negative. It's not like our school doesn't care, but I do think they just don't have the resources to like. Yeah, and resources are just not as easily accessible. So people who are like, what is it called? Having a hard time. There are like, certain offices that provide this, that, and the third, but they're not going to be able to do as much as maybe some U.S. schools might. Yeah. And, it's just hard for people. Yeah. And I get it. It's rough out here. Mm-hmm. I hope y'all can't hear these roosters outside chirping away. See, that's another thing about this island life. Like, just creatures just doing the most. Bro, that's the distraction. That's the distraction y'all was talking about. Dang. It's nighttime. Like, why are you even roostering? Isn't that for the morning? What time is it?
5:30. Like, relax. So here is the last question. On roosters. Caribbean medical school classes are too big for you to learn anything.
What? No, fiction. I think where that came from, like before I came to this school, I was looking at just looking at Caribbean schools in general because I didn't know too much, and I did see again there's I think over 30 Caribbean medical schools. And a lot of them, there's only 4 that are accredited. So a lot of the other ones, a lot of these myths apply to them. So people can get into them very easily. But again, they're not accredited. So you're probably not going to match. They're probably really cheap. And so you go there, they're going to have 1,000 people in their class and not enough resources to accommodate all of those people. So a lot of people are going to fail out. And so I feel like that's where a lot of the stigma comes from because there's so many schools and only a few of them actually yield doctors.
Speaking from this school, even if because I think we did come in with a big class, right?
Yeah.
200 something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big class compared to a lot of other U.S. medical schools. But at the same time, for the most part, professors are accessible.
Yeah.
So if you need extra time, you need explanations, you need to talk to them after class, they're going to be there to talk to you after class. And you see them around campus. The campus is only but 2 buildings. So you can pretty much spot any professor that you need to get to. So even if you are someone that needs really small, intimate classes to learn, you can kind of make that your experience and then get a group of friends too and learn with that. But I wouldn't say that they're too big.
I feel like the format of medical school too, because a lot of the lectures you can watch on your own. A lot of it is self-studying, so you don't.
True.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah. And also we do a lot of I guess more of the clinical stuff where it's more hands-on. We do breakout sessions.
Right. So. And those ones are 8 people or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's those ones that really matter. And now that you mention it, even with other schools, even if they do have a smaller class size, I don't personally feel that makes any difference because you're not getting anything more from that class size. You still have an hour of class of lecture and they're talking from minute 1 to minute 59 and 59 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's not really that much of a difference, I feel like.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's a lot of self-studying. That's what medical school is everywhere. Well, I don't know about everywhere, but most places.
Yeah.
It's medical school. They're going to teach you, but you're going to have to put in triple, quadruple the hours outside of class to actually learn and retain and do all that other stuff. So just do what you got to do and you'll be fine wherever you go.
Yeah. Anyways, all in all, I think that just based, at least on my own conversations I've had with other people who are in the U.S., There's not a huge difference. Like we mentioned earlier, there obviously, it can be disadvantages with going to a Caribbean medical school, but if you put the work in, you most likely will, you know, have the result you want at the end. But for the most part, it's medical school is medical school. It's hard, and no matter where you go, that's the same result. So
yeah, I definitely agree. I think, like I said before, you just gotta make it. You just gotta make it. So that includes, and just speaking to myself, growing up in a lot of aspects and taking things into your own hands, taking your education into your own hands, because Caribbean school, medical school, Russian school, Nigerian school, at the end of the day, nobody can learn for you. You have to learn for yourself. So however you have to learn, that's how you have to do it. And then you have to show up and perform. Going to clinicals and setting up different stuff, you have to make sure all your ducks are in a row and all of that stuff. So I think coming to a Caribbean school really helped me personally, actually, even beyond the academic part, take matters more into my own hands and really strive to get the results that I want out of a situation, including, you know, medical school. You know,
it's humbled me.
Yeah.
Humble.
No, but you're right.
Yeah.
But you know, that's all part of it. Like, you need a little, sometimes you need to get knocked out, you know, so you can get back up.
It just doesn't need to. Anyways.
You know, sometimes it doesn't need to be that hard or that often.
Yeah.
But
It's
you
cool.
know, it's good stories that you'll tell.
Yeah. We need humble doctors.
That's facts. Some of y'all out here are scary. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and I hope it was helpful to you all. If you did enjoy, make sure you're liking.
Like, comment, subscribe. What's the thing? Follow.
What's it? Bell. Hit the bell so that you're notified whenever I post again. Make sure you go and follow Judy. Where can they find you?
Oh my gosh. Hold on. JM underscore KAMARA. Look for the Salon flag. You're gonna find me.
And while you're at it, might as well follow me too. Oh my God, Lara. Thank you all again. Hope you have an amazing, blessed day, week, everything that you got. And I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.